Hi guys, and welcome to the Geology Museum here at the University of Wisconsin. We have great and very exciting news to report today. The museum has received a new fossil to its collection. This new fossil is a little brachiopod fossil that was recently found in Kentucky. We are here to meet up with AJ, who is a brachiopod expert working at the museum. So, AJ, please tell us a little about the evolution of this fascinating animal.
Well, the earliest brachiopod fossils found are dated back to the early Cambrian time. Brachiopods have a two-part calcium carbonate shell, one half located on the dorsal side and the other on the ventral side. This hard shell is believed to have been developed to protect the animals from predators, similar to most other animals with hard outer shells. However, others argue that the shell was formed as a response to significant chemical changes in the ocean water. One of the most important times in the evolution of brachiopods was the Cambrian explosion. During the explosion, 30,000 variations of brachiopod were believed to be living on the ocean floor. This number is very accurate because the hard shells allow them to be easily fossilized and therefore easily identified on fossil records.
Thank you. That was really interesting. Now, can you please tell us a little more about the life of a brachiopod?
Sure. In order for brachiopods to survive, they obviously had to eat. The way they did this was through filter feeding. Brachiopods primarily consume plankton by opening its valve and filtering water into the hollow space between its two shells. The plankton filtered out of the seawater was then transported to the brachiopod's mouth, where the nutrients were digested. Because brachiopod's food source was plankton, all of the extinct forms and current descendants live in the oceans. The most common places to find these animals are on the ocean floors or just below the sediment. This is because they try to avoid areas of ocean with strong currents.
Okay, so if these animals were so prominent during this time period, how come they went extinct?
That's a great question. Like most animals of the time, the majority of brachiopods were wiped out in the Permian-Triassic extinction. The main argument for this mass extinction is the massive volcanic eruptions that were going on at the time. The amount of CO2 and gas produced led to the water becoming unhealthy for brachiopods. The more CO2 in the water, the harder it is for these creatures to breathe, reproduce, and produce necessary proteins, thus killing them. The second theory is the meteor impact, which is also a plausible argument for the extinction of brachiopods. As we said earlier, brachiopods like to live in calm areas of the ocean where they could rest at the bottom and do their filter feeding. When the meteors hit, it either killed them on impact or disrupted the currents and dislodged the brachiopods from their desired habitat. If it was the volcanoes or the meteors that affected the brachiopods the most, when it was all said and done, about 90% of the brachiopod species were killed either way, leaving only 300 surviving species today.
Okay, well, thank you very much for taking your time to meet up with me today and showing me these fossils and telling me more about them.
Sure, feel free to stop by anytime you guys have any questions about these prehistoric fossils. We'll be happy to help you.
Thank you.